Welcome to the Bristol Motor Speedway, folks. We are unfortunately a little bit late coming in, but we were just coming off the Tour Modifieds at the Irwindale track in California, and we had to hurry on up and get in here to the trucks. It looks like we are just in the middle of qualifying. The guys still have about a minute and a half in qualifying. Let's see if we can find anybody. That is Coy Hasselu. He is getting ready to go out in this pretty cool looking iRacing livery here. It looks like we have Mark Herzog as the quickest qualifier so far. We have a field of about 15 cars here. Brandon Hughes in second, Samuel Fontaine in third, Brooks in fourth, Smith in fifth. Then Jordan Berry in sixth. Unfortunately, he had a little bit worse night in the modified, so he's hoping to do a little bit better here tonight. Let's quickly bring up some of the information we have for you here tonight. We are at Bristol Motor Speedway. We're going to be racing for 175 laps. This is race 4 in the truck series of the Short Track Super League, and the track is currently under an ambient temperature of 74 degrees with a relative humidity of 42%, and the track temperature is 77 degrees. That is not very high. That is in the advantage of the drivers, and it should make for a little bit less slippery track as we would expect in a higher track. Were it not that this is a concrete track and it's always a little bit more slippery than an asphalt track, so we'll have to see how that plays out here. Let's see if we can bring up the points for the league so far. No, that is not correct. There you have them. They are working now, except that the points aren't in there. That is weird. Let's try and see if we can fix that real quickly here. Nope, for some reason the points are not in there. And I see my mistake. We'll have that sorted out next week. I apologize for that. We cannot help you with the points here currently. We'll get it figured out next week. All right, so the guys are getting ready to go here. Brandon Hughes in the 111 car. Mark Herzog on the pole position on his inside there on the 49. Let's see if we can bring that grid up for you really quickly here. Herzog, Hughes, Fontaine, Brooks, Smith, Berry, and then Telder, Steffen, Horniak, Miner, Hasselu, Benedetto, and then we got to move on up to the next row there. Jason Cole and Richard Benedetto and Michael DeLong. All right, the base car should be coming down right now, and we should be getting ready to go. And it looks like scoring is acting up once again. We'll have to reload that real quickly. There, we're back up and running. And it looked like we had another backstretch to go. Now the pace car is in. The call is on the radio. The race is on. Mark Herzog and Hughes are leading the pack here with Samuel Fontaine in the 91 in third position, with Brooks on his high side taking that away from him. And Jordan Berry also getting around. Ooh, it looks like Fontaine is crashing out there. And it looks like he saves it. This is what's happening. He loses it going in, he saves it, and he keeps it going, but he drops back to the end of the field. Looks like we have Michael DeLong not taking the start. Jason Coe is in the 14th position. He's the only one behind Fontaine. Fontaine having a bit of a moment there that kind of ruins his race here early on, it looks like. So it's Mark Herzog in front in the 47 car, followed by Brandon Hughes in the 111. Then it's Jake Brooks in the 57. Jordan Berry now in 4th position in the number 7 car, hanging with that group of 4 here that is the leading group. And it looks like Jason Coe is already being lapped. Not sure what the deal is, but it feels to me like it does have some sort of issue. Let's go find out what's happening here. It's Bradley Minor getting in trouble in the 24 car. And it did look like he got a little bit of help from the 27 washing up, tapping him on that quarter panel, and he can't save it, noses it into the wall. It doesn't look like it's too bad of a damage, but he gets it turned back around, and ooh, you got to be careful because that was the leading group right there in front of him. Looks like Jason Coe also had a bit of a trouble slowing it down there. All right, so we have Jason Coe there, and behind Jason, it's the white car of Horniak. It looks like Mark Herzog is still in the lead in front of Brandon Hughes, Jake Brooks, and Jordan Berry. And it looked like those 4 were walking away a little bit from the rest of them. We have Michael Benedetto and Richard Benedetto there in the 25 and the 52. Close together here on track. Samuel Fontaine already passed a few cars. He's back in 11th position, so maybe he can still make this race something worth his time. Coy Hasselou there in the 87 car, the iRacing livery. Then it's Jason Coe catching up to the back end of the pack here. And Bradley Minor is in 14th. And as I said, Michael DeLong did not take the start. Lap number 8 of the 175 here. Really a crazy kind of track. It's very small, very tight. It's built like a giant baseball or a giant basketball stadium with a racetrack inside of it. A concrete track with high banking, and a lot of drivers have kind of a hate or love kind of relationship with this track. Some drivers love it, and a lot of other guys they don't care for it one bit. And when I'm driving, I don't care for it. I love watching the races here because there's always packed with action, but it's not my favorite track as a driver either. See Jordan Berry coming down low a little bit, maybe trying to fool people that he's going into the pits. Brooks there in 3rd. Matthew Telder in the 02, the purple truck there. The 069 of Brian Smith, and Michael Steffen there in the 669 truck. Jeff Horniak in the Budweiser truck there, or the Miller, I'm sorry. Then the Benedettos. It looks like Samuel was trying to split those 2 up, but he still got a race for that. It looks like they're going to line them up side by side to get this race back going again. And there we go. Mark Herzog is early on the gas. He pulls away a car length. It's Jake Brooks that surprises Brandon Hughes there on the inside. Jordan Berry on the high side. I know Jordan likes to run high. He does it on a lot of tracks, and he's no different here. He already gets alongside the 57 of Jake Brooks there. And it looks like he gets a good run off the turn and picks up that 3rd position right now. Ooh, now he runs a little bit too high. Actually scraped the wall there, but still gets a good run on the main straightaway there. It looks like the 57 is good in on the lower side coming into the turn, and the 7 is better coming off of the turn. Actually, those sparks might be the bodywork of the car scraping on the concrete there. Might not be the wall. Looks like Jake Brooks is holding off Jordan Berry for now. He's stronger in the turns, and now when you say that, it's not true anymore. There's Berry picking up third position. And it looks like Jake Brooks is also coming under pressure from the 69 of Smith. There you have him. It looks like the 57 is defending on that bottom line, but the cars that are on the higher side seem to be coming off the turn a lot better. And Brian Smith picks up fourth position here from Jake Brooks as well. Matthew Telder is a little bit further back, about a second, a little bit more than a second, and it looks like Horniak and Stefan are duking it out there for seventh position in a similar situation. The high side working well coming off the turn, and the bottom working well going into the turn. Herzog running the quickest lap currently, and he's being closely followed by Brandon Hughes, basically by themselves now. Jordan Berry in third position, still fighting. Oh, now it's Brian Smith that is challenging Jordan Berry. And Jake Brooks is still with them there. He didn't lose that much, but they've got about a second and a half of a distance between them and the two leaders, Herzog and Hughes. And it looks like Brian Smith is coming underneath there. He's trying basically the same thing as Brooks was doing. He's trying to stay a little higher, it looks like, and then comes down coming off the turn. Jordan Berry's got that top line covered, and it looks like he's getting good runs off the turn, and he is able to stay in front. It looks like Jordan has a bit of a connection issue. Jordan is from Canada. Maybe that's the part of the problem there. We've seen him have some connection issues before. Jake Brooks now hanging with these guys. Brian Smith alongside Jordan Berry. And it looks like Smith is picking up that position. Jordan had a little bit of a wiggle, had to come off the gas, and Telder is now coming underneath him as well. Let's ride along here with Matthew Telder in the purple number 02 car here. And you can see the Jordan Berry's car missing out there. That's a connection issue. I hope it's not going to hurt him too much. There we have him fighting side by side here. Ooh, Berry gets up in the wall. That's going to cost him some speed. Michael Stefan also coming by now. And that means that Jordan Berry has dropped back to the 7th position, trying to fight back once again. Let's go check on our leaders really quickly. Mark Herzog is about a second and a half in front of Brandon Hughes. So it looks like Brandon could not keep up that same pace. Then it's Brian Smith now leading the second group with Jake Brooks in 4th. Matthew Telder in 5th, Michael Stefan in 6th, and Jordan Berry dropping to 7th place. That whole group has been stretched apart a little bit. And look who's back up fighting for leading for position here. That is Samuel Fontaine. We saw him have a little issue early on in the race, but he's fighting his way back. He was all the way down in 14th, and he fought his way back up to 7th position now, having passed Jordan Berry. Berry now in 8th. So Fontaine doing a great job here, running good lap times, actually similar lap times as Mark Herzog is doing in the lead. And that means that Fontaine should, hit himself in the head, because he could have been up there fighting with Mark. Stefan is in 6th. It's Jake Brooks that has passed Brian Smith. Brian now in 4th. Jake Brooks back up in the 3rd position, and he has closed in on Hughes. Looks like Hughes has used up his tires a little bit, and Jake Brooks picks up 2nd position. They are looking at a 3.5 second deficit towards Mark Herzog in the lead. So Brandon Hughes now in the third spot, Brian Smith in fourth, and Telder right behind him in fifth. And it looks like Telder's getting racy with him. And he is now coming underneath, picking up that fourth position. Smith's fighting back on the high side, but it's Telder getting in front of him now. Ooh, and it looks like Smith comes off that turn really well. Like I said, that higher line takes him off the turn extremely good. The guy on the bottom has to be a little bit careful getting on the gas too quickly. He doesn't want to turn it around and wash up. But now it looks like Telder has picked up that fourth spot, and it looks like Michael Steffen comes underneath Brian Smith as well. Michael picking up fifth position behind Telder. Michael Telder also closing in on Brandon Hughes, so it looks to me like Brandon Hughes has used up those tires too quickly in the beginning there. He's having a hard time keeping up. Let's see how Jake Brooks is doing. He's got, let's see, that is the 25 of Michael Benedetto that he's lapping there, and he still has about 4 seconds deficit on Mark Herzog. Mark Herzog in the lead by himself here in the number 47 car. Let's check back on Brandon Hughes. It looks like he's holding off Telder and Smith for now. They're all tapping that wall a little bit, it looks like. Nice group of cars here. Now all 4 of them together with Samuel Fontaine mixing himself in there in the 91 car. He is back up into the 6th position now, passing Brian Smith, getting underneath Brandon Hughes, passing Brandon Hughes, following Michael Steffen. And they're going around the buck markers there. Believe that was Bradley Minor that they just passed. No, it was probably Benedetto, Richard Benedetto. Michael Steffen hanging on to that 4th position. Telder going around Michael Benedetto there. He is running pretty quickly now in the 3rd spot, and he's got about 6 seconds to make up towards Jake Brooks. Michael Steffen, Samuel Fontaine fighting back. He's coming underneath Michael Steffen now. Looks like Samuel Fontaine wants that position back that he lost in the beginning, and he's doing a really good job. Ooh, he's getting a little loose once again. He has to get off the gas and let go of Michael Steffen for now. But I'm sure he's going to try and pick that back up. Let's go check in car with him. You're riding along with Fontaine. Ooh, we have a yellow flag. Let's go find out what's going on. That is Richard Benedetto being lapped there by the 24, and that is Bradley Minor. Minor looks like he's getting away with that pretty good. Richard Benedetto doesn't look too damaged either, so it looks like it's all right. Well, that gives everybody a moment to catch their breath here at the Bristol Motor Speedway, lap 45 of 175. And let's see if we will have people coming into the pits. Oh, that's just selling him a dummy. I'm fairly sure their tire sets are limited to 2 or 3 sets tonight. So they would be a little bit early getting into the pits if they would get them now. It looks like Telder is coming in. Steffen's coming in. Fontaine in. Brian Smith, Brandon Hughes, Jason Coe, Michael Benedetto, Bradley Minor, and Richard Benedetto all coming into the pits. And if their tire sets are limited to 3, then I hope it's not too early for them. Smith coming back out there in the Batman car, followed by, let's see, that is the 069 of Brian Smith. Fontaine is behind him in the 91 car. Matthew Teller in 5th. Michael Steffen. So if everybody comes in the pit, obviously it's not going to cost you that much. Brandon Hughes dropped back to 8th. That was a little bit costly for him. Jordan Berry is in the pits now. Looks like the front end of that car is a little bit beat up. He is running in the 10th spot. Oh, there we have him again, having some issues with the connection. I hope it's not that big of a deal for him. Oh, it looks like he's gone. Hasloo is already out as well. Richard Benedetto is one of the final cars coming off of pit road here. And the other guys are already thinking about racing again. That's Herzog in the lead with Jake Brooks in 2nd, Brian Smith in 3rd, and Samuel Fontaine back up in the 4th position. Good job. And it looks like they're lined up nicely here. Waiting for that pace truck to go in. There you see him.
Green flag, green
there
flag.
we go. We're racing once again. Ooh, it looks like Brian Smith spins the wheels coming off on the start there. Dropping back, having to lift that throttle and seeing everybody fly by. He drops down to 5th position. It's Herzog in the front with Jake Brooks in 2nd, but Fontaine already in 3rd position trying to get underneath of Brooks. Then it's Michael Steffen in 4th, and Brian Smith dropped back to 5th. Telder is 6th, Hughes is 7th. Ooh, Fontaine already making good work of the fight here with Jake Brooks. He is now in the 2nd position. Brooks trying to fight back on the higher line. Oh, and he slams it into the wall. He has to get off the gas, but he saves it from going around. And that is not good news for Jake. Michael Steffen now coming to his inside. And it looks like Michael's picking up 3rd position here. Telder also already a threat to him. And it looks like Telder gets underneath him and picks up 4th position. So Brooks and Smith basically just didn't have the restart they were hoping for. And then it's, let me see. Brandon Hughes is shown in 7th position. He's got Minor in front of him, but he's a lap down. Oh.
Caution, yellow flag.
That looks like Brian Smith getting it all wrong there. Let's bring that back. Oh, he actually, it is Brooks that gets in trouble and bounces off the wall. Let's bring it back one more time. It's Brooks that gets in trouble, coming off the turn here. He gets into the wall, bounces back, and then runs into Brian Smith's car, and he swings it around a couple times. Luckily, he can move. He's obviously got to wait for guys to get by him there before he can get out. That looks like he's almost a lap down now, so yeah. Hopefully he can keep going. Doesn't look too bad. The back end's a little bit beat up, and that is always a bad thing because the spoiler is not in the position it was supposed to be. and that definitely will affect the handling of the car. It looks like that spoiler is a bit higher up than it's supposed to be, and that is not good. Brooks is taken to the pits as well. It looks like he's in trouble, and he's coming back out. That's good news. There we have Jeff Horniak coming in. Herzog now coming in. Oh, does he overshoot his pit? No, they can service him. And Horniak also in the pit getting tires and fuel. Let's check back on Smith. He's still out there. He should be getting the wave around to be able to catch back up to the back end of the pack. He's not yet a lap down. And guess who picked up the lead with all this happening and with Herzog into the pits? It is Fontaine that has worked his way back through the field, and he is now the leader. There you have Brooks once again going into the pits. Maybe not happy with the repairs they've done so far, trying to get some more stuff fixed. And let's check on Brian once again. Yeah, that looks like he's just willing to stay out there. It's not going to get much better anyway. They might fix a little bit of that stuff, but it's not going to... He's just probably thinking, well, it is what it is. We might as well just keep going. And as I said, he should be getting a wave around before we go green, so he won't be in front of the leader. And let's see, Herzog is now shown in 6th position. And it looks like Brian is getting waved around right now. That brings us Samuel Fontaine right behind the pace car. He is the leader. And Michael Steffen is in 2nd position there in the 669. And it's Matthew Teller in the 03 with Brandon Hughes back on in 4th on the outside. So he's picked up a good bunch of spots there. It's Jason Coe in 5th now. And Mark Herzog in 6th. And we saw Jason struggling a little bit at the beginning, but he's back up there now. There we go. It's Samuel Fontaine and Michael Steffen there. Oh, it looks like the 02 of Teller bounces into Steffen and picks up 2nd position. Brandon Hughes already underneath Michael Steffen there as well, picking up 3rd position. And right behind there, it looks like that is Bradley Minor. Oh, we have another yellow. Let's go check out what happens. That looks like Jeff Horniak just loses it coming off the turn. Can't get it straightened out. There you have it. A little too early on the gas. Can't get it straightened out, and luckily he can keep going. And Jake Brooks now going into the pits again, as well as Brian Smith, opting to see if he can maybe get some repairs there. I'm fairly sure he didn't want to do that earlier because it would have brought him a lap down, and he's trying to avoid that. Horniak looks like he's staying out. So the damage is probably not that bad. The front end is bent up a little bit. We've lost Minor, Barry, and Hasselou, unfortunately. Michael Benedetto coming into the pits there in the 25 car. And back all the way to the front there, it's Samuel Fontaine after that little mishap on the start. He fell back to the final position pretty much, the 13th or 14th, and he's worked his way back up to through the field and currently finds himself in the leading position. Brooks again going into the pits. Smith is out there now. And what Brooks is probably trying to do is just making pit stops to try and get some damage fixed, but then he's trying to go back out before they pass him. He doesn't want to go a lap down, obviously. And let's see if we can show you that there, because as soon as he hears that the other cars are in 3 and 4, he goes back out, and he will stay on the lead lap that way. Lights on the pace truck are going out. We're going to go racing next time by. Fontaine and Telder in front. Benedetto into the pits. And it looks like he's just driving through, figuring out that that we're going green. Not sure what he's trying to do there. Doesn't even seem to be in a hurry to catch up. Well, there he is. It's a short track. Fontaine steps on the gas. He picks up the lead in front of Matthew Telder in the O2 car. Brandon Hughes on the inside line there, followed by Mark Herzog in the 47. And they're closely together now. It looks like, ooh, they're all having a bit of a wiggle there on relatively cold tires, it looks like. Hughes in third there, Telder in second on that higher side. Looks like Fontaine's got this stuff fairly good under control. He's got about a car length on the O2. Mark Herzog is still hanging there. Michael Steffen hanging with him. Jason Coe doing a good job hanging with these guys. Jake Brooks trying to make up for loss. Ooh, hits the wall again. That car's giving him a little bit of trouble, but now he comes off the turn and passes Jason Coe for 6th position. And it looks like the field is stretching out a little bit, with Jake Brooks now passing Michael Steffen, or once again losing that car into the wall. Jake Brooks, he's fighting that car more than he is fighting anybody else. Drops back into 6th position once again, has to start all over again. He was right there with Michael Steffen. Looks like that back end is bent up a little more even. And no changes up front. Samuel Fontaine still in the lead. Matthew Telder in second. Hughes in third. Herzog in fourth. Steffen hanging on to 5th. Brooks already coming back up to him. Brooks is currently the quickest car on the track. And that is somewhat surprising. It may actually be that spoiler being a little bit further up helps him a little bit. You can get that lucky. And there he comes to the outside of Steffen. He's awful close up high by the wall, but he gets off the turn pretty good. I think Michael Steffen just kind of thought the better of it. Already seen him bounce off the wall a couple times. Hughes is making a move now. No, that's actually Herzog. Herzog has passed Brandon Hughes, and Herzog is now challenging Telder for 2nd position. There he comes. he's right there with him. He's just trying to find, look like Telder is trying to different lines to defend himself. Herzog now trying the higher line, gets off the turn a lot better and picks up second position. Telder having trouble on that bottom, and look who's coming with him, and that's Jake Brooks now moving up to third position, coming around the outside of Telder. Brandon Hughes dropped back to fifth position, Stefan in sixth. Jake Brooks is doing a really good job despite having some issues with the wall there, and that back end not really looking the way it is supposed to, but maybe that redesign is helping him. It looks like Herzog is now trying to gain on Fontaine, and he's actually doing so. He is a 0.3 of a second quicker on the last lap, so that is looking good for Mark. Fontaine still hanging on to that lead, but he knows he's not quicker than Herzog. Herzog gaining on him rapidly. Let's ride along here with Mark. There in front you see Samuel Fontaine running the high line here. Lap 87, we're almost halfway. Looks like we have back markers in front of us. That looks like Jeff Horniak in the white car, staying out of the way, very good. And Herzog is definitely gaining on Fontaine. It's now only 0.6 of a second. He's got him well in his sights now, 0.4 of a second. It's not going to be long before he's going to be right on that back bumper of that Pennzoil car. And it looks like Brian Smith is getting a lap in the 069 car. The damage on his car is not helping him as much as it looks like Jake Brooks is being helped. And the 25 there, that looks like one of the Benedettos. That is Michael Benedetto also being lapped. And we have a fight for the lead now with Herzog closing in on the 91 car. Already coming to the bottom. And they're side by side. The 91 gets into the wall coming off the turn. Has to get off the gas and let Mark Herzog go. Mark Herzog picks up the lead on lap 94. But I will say Samuel Fontaine's been doing a great job coming back after his early mishap. And it looks like he's not even all that much slower. Hanging there with Mark. Let's go check on the field behind these guys. It looks like Brandon Hughes has found his second wind and it worked his way back up to third position in front of Matthew Telder. Jake Brooks is hanging with these guys with a slightly modified truck. Stefan is still in sixth. Jason Coe hanging on in seventh. Brian Smith is eighth. He is now a lap down from the leaders. Michael Benedetto still running in the ninth position. Jeff Horniak 2 laps down. Richard Benedetto 2 laps down. Bradley Minor, Barry, and Hasselou are out of the race. Herzog is coming up to the back of one of the Benedetto cars, going underneath. Then he will, let me see, that'll be Jason Coe that he's passing. The Pennzoil car weaving his way through there as well. And it looks like Herzog is pretty solidly in the lead here in Bristol. Matthew Telder in the third position, passing the back markers. Brandon Hughes in fourth, so he's lost the position to Telder. Stefan hanging on to fifth position. He's fairly close to Brandon Hughes. That's actually the closest two cars on the track. It looks like Hughes is once again in trouble, having asked too much of those tires. Michael Stefan underneath him. And even on that bottom line, comes off the turn better than Hughes. Michael Stefan picks up fourth position. There you are looking back at Brandon Hughes. And there we have the number 54 of Jason Cole. One lap from the leaders. Michael Stefan working his way around him now. Brandon Hughes and Horniak. That's not for position, that he is just picking back up a lap. Herzog still out in front in the 47 car. He's got 3.8 seconds now on Samuel Fontaine. It looks like Samuel cannot keep up the pace with Herzog. Herzog running under 16 seconds. Samuel Fontaine running a little bit over 16 seconds a lap. Matthew Telder in third spot. He's about 4.5 seconds behind Fontaine. Then we see Stefan. He's about 4.3 behind Telder. Brandon Hughes less than a second behind Stefan. Brian Smith 13 seconds behind Hughes. And then it's Jason Cole. Michael Benedetto still running. Jeff Horniak still running. Richard Benedetto still running. He is the final running car in the 10th position. Fontaine now a little bit over 5 seconds behind Herzog. Lap 113 of 175 currently, so we're well over halfway. And to me, it looks like the difference between some of the back markers and the leading guys is fairly big. You would think there'd be a little bit less speed difference, but they've been on their tires for quite some time. Let's see, most of these guys pitted around lap 46. The leader, Herzog, pitted on lap 59. And the last one that pitted was Jake Brooks, and he's already out. He parked it on lap 67, it looks like. Yeah, so some of these guys have tires with quite a few laps on them. And that is true for Fontaine also. Compared to Herzog, he's got 13 more laps on those tires. And I'm sure that is starting to show right now. Brandon Hughes, 5th position. Even Herzog's lap times are coming right around the 16-second mark now. So even he is feeling those tires going down. They're wearing off. That's Michael Steffen on the bottom there, working his way around Brian Smith. That is not for position. That is a putting a lap on him. You saw Smith once again getting into a little bit of trouble. Fontaine now 7.7 seconds behind Herzog. Herzog still running lap times just over 16 seconds. Fontaine is about 3/10 of a second slower per lap. Currently, only the first 3 drivers are on the lead lap, as you can see there. That's Herzog, Fontaine, and Telder. Telder is 11 seconds behind the leader, so he's about 4 seconds close to being lapped as well. Michael Steffen has been lapped. Yeah, it looks like all those lap times are slowly working up above the 16.3 mark there. Matthew Telder actually running a 16.24. That looks to me like he is currently the quickest driver. Michael Benedetto is the first one to dive into the pits. Looks like we're going to be looking at green flag pit stops here. That always opens up opportunities. Make sure you make no mistakes on a green flag pit stop, because it's going to cost you a lot more than if something happens on a caution pit stop. Herzog now in a bunch of back markers, working his way through there. And it looks like he's going to be lapping Hughes for the second time. No, that's not Hughes. I'm sorry, that was Richard Benedetto. And it looks like Michael Benedetto is still in that pit. He might be terminating that race here. Not sure what the deal is there. Herzog well out in front. Fontaine second. We have Brian Smith now heading for pit lane. And that is awful slow. It looks like he's getting ready to park it. Well, he's still moving, but that's about all it is. And Benedetto is going back out. That's a good sign. Smith is not really... Did he run out of fuel? He may have actually run out of fuel. That would explain that. And we can see how long... Well, we can't see him on this chart here. Guys have been doing a long stint here. 75 laps. 88 laps for Fontaine and Telder. 87 for Steffen and Hughes. So those are long stints. I would not be surprised if those fuel tanks are really coming to their end now. We saw Michael Benedetto going back in once again. There's something wrong with that car, obviously. Jason Coe is in the pit. Brian Smith is still there, and it doesn't look like there's anything happening there. No close battles going on the track at all. Long stretches between the cars. Fontaine is 13 seconds behind the leader. Telder is 1.1 behind Fontaine. Stefan has a 15-second deficit on Telder. Hughes has a 5-second deficit on Stefan. Brian Smith is still not moving. Benedetto is coming back out, but not all that enthusiastically, I wouldn't say. There he goes. Richard Benedetto in the pits. Also looks like these guys are in trouble for whatever reasons. He misses his pit stall, has to back it up. And still 3 drivers on the lead lap. Herzog, Fontaine, and Telder. Stefan is lapped. He is in 4th position. Let's go see if we can find him. There he is. And there we have Telder. And look who's coming up to the back end of Telder. That is Mark Herzog. You can see him from the back end of that car. That is Mark Herzog closing in on Telder to put a lap on him. And it looks like they're those guys are putting a lap on Stefan, and that means that Herzog's going to put a 2nd lap on Stefan pretty soon. There he comes. They're all being a little bit more careful now, that's for sure. Lap times are crawling towards the 16.8, 16.7. Telder has passed Fontaine while they were dealing with traffic. Currently, it looks like Telder is the quickest car on the track, running 16.4s, as opposed to, well, actually Herzog just put in a 16.2. Herzog is not quite easily getting by Fontaine there. He's kind of fighting him for it. Doesn't want to go a lap down, obviously. Because when the yellows come out, that's going to make a difference. If you stay in front of the leader on the lead lap, at least on a yellow, everything will bunch up and you'll be right there with him. If you're a lap down, that's not going to change with a yellow. Richard Benedetto going back out of the pits. Smith is still there, so I'm not expecting more movement from him. That leaves us 9 cars running on the track. Both Benedettos still running 13 laps down. Telder once again seeing Mark Herzog coming in his mirrors. Lap 152. 23 laps to go. And the question now becomes, can they make it on fuel? Telder has been last into the pits. Ooh, gets a little off there. Last into the pits on lap 46. There you have him once again. That's 106 laps ago. 94 laps ago for Herzog. Brandon Hughes now going into the pits. 104 laps on his belt. Herzog still out there. Doesn't have that lap on Telder just yet. And it doesn't look like he's trying all that hard anymore either. He's trying to be careful as well. They have matching pace. Fontaine is losing about 3/4 tenths of a second per lap on these guys. Yeah, I believe Herzog is slowing down to go to pit lane here. Or is he? No. He was lifting there for sure. Dropping back to Telder there a little bit. Doesn't matter. He's in the lead. I mean, he can afford to be a little bit careful. There we see Horniak going into the pits. And it looks like Jason Coe is quicker than Telder at this point. Coe is on fresh tires. He pitted on lap 129. So he's trying to make up for lost time. Herzog and Telder still together there. The one in the back, 47, that's your leader. He's almost got a lap on the number 2 position car of Matthew Telder.
The yellow flag is out.
Oh, we have a yellow, and I will guarantee you that means people will be, once again Fontaine involved. That was Richard Benedetto getting in trouble there. He comes up high, not aware of Fontaine being there. That tells me he's not listening to his spotter, because that should have been called out by the spotter. All right, let's go check and see if we have takers on pit road. I'm fairly sure we will. Lap 163, so we should be right around 10 laps to go when we go back to green. And that means that Telder did not go down a lap. He is now only 5 seconds behind Herzog. Herzog going in, Telder going in, Fontaine going in. Fontaine had a bit of a wrinkled front end there. Stefan going in. And then obviously the guys that have pitted on right around lap 151 and 129, Hughes, Coe, Horniak, and the Bernadettos, they're staying out, it looks like. Or they could come in one lap later because they can't come in with the leaders. Telder going out. Fontaine going out. And Mark Herzog is already out. There you go. So Herzog is your leader. Fontaine is right behind him, but he's a lap down. And then it's Telder behind there. He's in second position. So Telder has a shot at this, because he was on the same lap as Herzog, and he's now right behind him. The back markers will be pushed to the end of the line. So we're going to have a race for the lead. Both these guys on fresh tires at lap 164. We have 10 laps to go currently, so it'll be 9 or 8 when we go green. That's Jason Coe in front of him, and Michael Benedetto in front of him. They'll be waved around. Hughes is there as well. Yeah, there you see them passing the pace car, and the guys are going to line them up side by side here. There will be 8 laps to go when they get the green. So this is between Herzog and Telder now.
Green flag. Green
There
flag.
we have it. Green flag is out. Herzog picks up the lead. Telder in second. Fontaine is in third, but he's a lap down on those two guys, so he would have to pass him twice. Herzog has a good jump on Telder there, showing his dominance once again. That's already, what is it, 6/10 of a second between him there. It doesn't look like Telder had much of a chance there to stay with him. And if you look at their lap times, they're pretty much equal. Telder a little bit loose off the turn, it looks like. Hughes is currently the quickest driver, but Herzog and Telder are fairly even in lap times. You can see that on the left side of your screen, 14.8 for both of them. Herzog has picked up the fastest lap of the race. Lap 172. That here is the difference between these guys. There you see them. Once again, Herzog improves that quickest lap of the race. 14.82. Lap 174, he'll be seeing the white flag next time by. Here he comes. He gets the white flag. One more lap to go. He's got almost 2 seconds on Matthew Telder. Mark Herzog picks up a win here at Bristol. Second place finisher Matthew Telder in the O2 car. Samuel Fontaine brings it home in third after a little of a mishap in the beginning. He is back. Oh, ho, ho. I do hope they already passed the finish there. It does look like it. Stefan got in the back of him there and turned him around. Hughes there. Telder and Herzog, your top two finishers, already nicely parked here at the main straightaway as the fireworks is cracking away. There you have your results. And let's go find these guys and see if we can talk to them. Hey Mark, this is Mark in the booth. Can you hear me, sir?
How you doing tonight, Mark?
Well, I'm doing great, and I think you are too.
Sorry.
Yeah, that was fun. It went green for a long time, like I was hoping it would. So that helped me a lot because I pitted. I tried to get to about 45 laps, which is where I would only need to go on one stop, and that's where we got to.
Yeah, it looked like you had things pretty much under control, and as everybody's tires were wearing off there right before that final yellow, and that yellow probably saved you from getting in trouble, because it looked to me like everybody was struggling a little bit. Lap times were going up. How did the car feel? You still there, Mark?
Yeah, it was going pretty good. You know, it felt pretty good. As long as I didn't drive it in hard, it was good. It would stick. I still had about 55, 57% left on my right front for that last pit stop. So it was working good.
And then after that final pit stop, it looked like you just kind of walked away with it for that little short stint there.
Yeah, fresh tires. I thought I'm going to push it as hard as I can just to make sure I can get out there, and that was going to give me a run.
Well, all right, Mark. Congratulations! Great result for you here in Bristol. How are you feeling about the rest of the season here?
Oh, it's looking fun. This is a good group of guys. You know, everybody's clean, respectful. I like the administrators are good. You guys are you're doing a good job putting on a broadcast. It's been a lot of fun. I'm glad I found these guys, and I hope they like having me around too.
Well, I sure do, because you make it interesting, especially on a day like today, man. Any thank yous and love yous you want to send out tonight?
I need to thank you for putting out a broadcast, Mike and those guys for running the league, and I actually need to thank my wife for letting me come out here and do this. She's been real good about that.
All right. Thank you very much, Mark. We appreciate it. And we'll see you next time.
Take care, Mark.
Matt, Matthew, whatever you want to go by, sir, you are bringing it home here in a respectable second place. You got your shot there with that final yellow flag to get on equal terms with Mark, but it wasn't enough. Tell me what happened.
Yeah, I mean, Mark's just almost as you would say, a god when it comes to driving these things. I mean, I was maxing the engine out. I was squealing the tires. I was doing everything possible in my power to catch him off that final restart. And he had what it was. He knows the track. He's a great, excellent driver. It's awesome that we get to race against him. So I did everything in my power to try to keep up with him, to try to catch him. I drove, the ever living wheels off this thing tonight, and he had the stuff tonight. So I mean, I'm happy to take home a second place, best finish in the season so far. So I'm okay with that.
Sometimes it's just good enough to be the best of the rest, right?
Absolutely.
It,
I will gladly take a second place to Mark any day of the week. He's an outstanding driver. I mean, I had all my teammates behind me, the third, fourth, and I believe Mike or Brandon, I think, came home fifth. So, our whole team took second through fifth. So it was a good night overall for us.
I also believe you were really not giving anything away when it came to Mark closing in on you to lap you. I think you were fighting him for that, weren't you?
I wouldn't say I guess I was fighting him per se, but I was just going to hold my line. And the way I looked at it, if, I'm second place, he's first. Um, if a caution comes out, I wanted to be able to still be in that situation, which actually happened where the caution came out and it was just me and him. So just wanted to do everything in my power to kind of keep it that way. I wasn't going to block him or anything like that. I was just going to hold my line. And, if he had the better car, he was going to get around me either way. So luckily, I had a little bit of luck with a couple lap cars that I got around that kind of seemed to help out a little bit. But I mean, like I said, I'm not a dirty guy. I'm not gonna, block him or like that. If he's gonna pass me, he's gonna pass me. So I was just kind of hoping for a late caution, which I got to kind of solidify the lead lap position and just go from there.
Yeah, and that happened, but obviously not with the result you would have hoped for. But you're right. I mean, coming home second after a guy like him, that's still a pretty good result.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, look at the standings. He lapped everybody up to third place. So the fact that I can sit here and say I finished the race in the lead lap, I'm completely okay with that.
Absolutely, I hear you, man. Okay, man. Thanks very much. Congratulations once again. Any love yous and thank yous you want to shout out tonight?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you to my girlfriend for allowing me to do this when I can, and my mom's watching, so I want to say hi to her, and I want to thank you up there in the broadcast booth for putting this on for us. It's really appreciative.
Well, we love to do it, man. It's awesome to be a part of. All right, thank you, Matt.
Yep, you have a good night, sir.
You too. Samuel Fontaine, you had an eventful race, I would say. What happened on lap one?
Let's say that I forget to put my brake bias what they should have been on the start of the race. So into turn three, I made a little mistake there, and I think I saved it pretty well though.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, it dropped you back to the tail end of the field there. I think you were 13th. The only one behind you was Jason Coe. And then you just kind of worked your way back up steadily through the field. Not we weren't really, I mean, you weren't really asking for a lot of attention there, but you was just doing your job and working it back up to the front there. Then after some other guys, when I think it was Mark that pitted that brought you back in the lead, and you were basically in the running for this race again.
Yeah, they were on a different pit strategy. I thought we would have earlier caution, and I think that's what killed me during that long run until the end, the late caution. I think that's what killed me, literally, because the car was really good. We were running pretty well up front. I had one contact on the wall that didn't help my cause also, but it was a fun race.
Absolutely. And then you were also fell victim to being lapped by Mark there. Did you try hard to keep him behind you and stay on that lead lap, or did you kind of just go with the flow there?
I was struggling a lot with one of my teammates who was a lap car. He finished in fifth, I think. I was struggling a lot to pass him. I wasn't able to do anything on the bottom of the track. The car was pushing too much. So I was trying to hold up the high line and keep him low and hoping for him to stay behind me. That didn't work though, but that's racing and you deal with it.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. It's still, I mean, considering how the race started, Sam, it's still a pretty good result that you're bringing home here tonight.
Yeah, yeah, third place. We're gonna take it. It's a really good result. I mean, it's good point for championship, and it's gonna it's gonna help me after my second week that I got caught in a crash and didn't weren't able to finish the race. So, no, it's a really solid race today.
Absolutely. Oh, congratulations once again, my friend. Any thank yous and love yous you want to bring out there tonight?
Yeah, first of all, thank you for the broadcast. It's really nice things, and the league, the guys who put the league together, Mike, Jake, and also the team, Moneymakers. Again, uh, yeah, fun race, man.
All
Fun
right.
league.
Thank you very much, Samuel. We appreciate your compliments. We love to do it. We love to be a part of it. We were back in the race a little bit late because of the modifieds running a little bit late, but we saw a great race here tonight. Third place for you. Awesome result.
Thanks, man.
All right, folks, there you have it. That is your race for tonight here at Bristol. Your standings, once again, Mark Herzog, Matthew Telder, and Samuel Fontaine, your top three finishers. It looks like we only had two cars on the lead lap there at the end. It looked like Telder had his one final shot that he was hoping for, and unfortunately, it wasn't enough to reel in Mark Herzog. He looked like he was the class of the field here tonight, and takes away the win here at Bristol. Next week, you will have to forgive me. I don't know what track we're on, but we're going to be racing, of course, next week once again with the modifieds earlier in the evening, the trucks as the second race in the evening. Hopefully, everything technically will run a little bit better so that we can give you a full coverage of the qualifying session. Um, uh, Unfortunately, we were running a little bit late there, switching from one broadcast to the other. We still got to see a great race here at the Bristol Motor Speedway here in what I still call the stadium of motor racing here. To me, it still looks like a giant basketball field with a huge crowd around it. It's always fun to watch. It's always good racing here at Bristol. So once again, folks, we hope you enjoyed the broadcast. Check out our other broadcasts during the week. We cover several similar style classes. And we also have some open wheel racing on Saturdays that we cover. So check us out on the channel, and we hope to see you next time with the short track Super League, both their races on Thursday night. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time.